Hey everyone, this is Holly Chantal, the founder of the Land of Brand, the creator of the branding game, and your host today for the webinar, How to Plan Your Perfect Client Attracting Website. So welcome and welcome back. If you were on the LOBoratory call just a couple hours ago, we are having a marathon day over here at the Land of Brand with lots of action-packed webinars. So this webinar is going to be about 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how many questions there are. I am going to stay till the end, or until the questions run out, basically. I hope you'll stay till the end. And really, we're going to cover a lot of ground today. So I hope you, I have my trusty glass of water. I hope you bring some snacks because we have a lot of really awesome information to cover. By the time you're done, you're going to have action steps ready to take in order to create a website of your dreams. And we have exciting news. So the Done For You giveaway just ended on Monday, and I have my I have my announcement for who won. And so let's go ahead and get started as everyone's kind of rolling in, trying to get the housekeeping out of the way. So let's go ahead and go over to my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so how to plan the perfect client attracting website. That is our topic for today. Let's go ahead and make that full screen ahead. And what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about the 3 phases of your website project, the critical decisions you must make before you start your design. So these are decisions before you ever contact a designer, what to look for when you do find that designer, and how to plan each page of your website to maximize results. So we are, like I said, going to cover a lot of ground. At the end, there will be time for questions, so you can leave those in the chat box. And just so you know, there is about a 30-second delay between what I'm saying and what you guys are seeing or hearing. So I might not see your question until a little bit after. And I actually have a question for you. I'm just curious. I'm going to go ahead and put the poll out right now, and we'll take a look at it in a little bit. But I'm curious how you feel about your current website. So I'm going to start this. There, on the right-hand side, you should see a little poll. It asks, how do you feel about your website? If you could just check off. It's not going to say who said what. But I'm just curious, of who we have here, who's really proud of their site, who's a little embarrassed about their site, and, who is ambivalent, not quite sure yet. All right. And first, before we start talking about how to plan a website, let's talk about who the heck is this Holly Chantal chick, and why should you be listening to me? Why are you going to sit with me for the next 90 minutes and you take notes and follow what we're talking about? I mean, why should you? So I am a Book Yourself Solid certified coach. I was certified in 2009 by Michael Port. I was one of the first groups that he certified. Michael Port is a New York Times bestselling author of Book Yourself Solid, hence the name. And he is fantastic, and he's been mentoring me for the last 5 years. So I've learned a lot of stuff. I am the creator of the Land of Brand and the branding game. So if you've been to our website and seen the Land of Brand and our signature program, those are my babies. And my educational background is actually not in marketing, which is interesting because you would think, establishing yourself as an expert and helping hundreds of people build brands and build their websites, that this would be kind of what I studied for. It's actually not. I studied animal science and education, which means that I am very good at herding cows. And or herding cats, even better. If you're a website designer and you manage projects, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like herding cats or herding jello. And my background in marketing comes from hands-on experience. I've had 4 businesses, all of which were started as results of breakups. Which is kind of funny. One of them, I broke up with him twice, so I actually started 2 businesses. I should probably go back and thank him. So I've had 4 successful businesses, and all starting at the age of, or I started my businesses, I think the first one was when I was 20. So I've been at it for a while and have found what works and what doesn't work in marketing. I've learned to trust my instincts. I've learned to, what to study and how to follow trends. And that is the expertise that you're getting on this call and when you're working with the Land of Brand. We've worked with over 100 online entrepreneurs. We've built over 100 websites, and we've served thousands through our newsletters, our online programs, and I'm very excited to hopefully be serving you guys soon. The Done For You giveaway is always a really awesome event, and I love the people that come into our community. So that is most of you guys are coming from the Done For You giveaway. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm glad that you have joined us. And last but not least, I am the mother of this guy. This is Master Eben. He is our expert to be, Land of Brand mascot, if you will. And I do have a nanny here with him, but I work from home like many of you do. So if you hear a little chit chat in the background, he's just offering his advice. But no worries, he is being looked after, so you don't have to worry. I don't need to run off or anything. Sometimes people get worried when they hear a baby crying, but no worries, he is being taken care of. Oh, so apparently I skipped a slide in there. So when we're talking about your website, a lot of people think of it as a to-do item. And what we're going to talk about today are really the 3 phases of your project. Because a website is more than a to-do item, it is a project. It takes time, it takes planning, because it makes a huge impact on your business. So the first step of that is planning your website. And in the Land of Brand, this is the branding game. And just so you know, as we're going through, I'm going to be talking about some of our programs to kind of introduce you to what the Land of Brand is and what we offer. And at the end, I will be inviting you, if you'd like to work with the Land of Brand on your website or any of the things we're going to be talking about, more than welcome to do that. But today's focus is really giving you a lot of strategies that you can go home and implement right now. So the branding game is phase 1 of our website design program, or it can be done standalone. So basically, it's about planning your website, because a common mistake for online entrepreneurs is that they know they need a website, so they jump right in. A lot of times, they're afraid to even start their business before they have a website. So I talk to a lot of people that come through our newsletter, through the LOBoratory, and they're basically at a standstill in their business. They don't want to market themselves. They don't want to even tell anyone what they're doing until they have a website, because they feel like that is the end-all be-all of a business. You have to have a website. To a point, that's true. I think that to have a website is going to put you in the marketplace, but it shouldn't be holding you back from marketing. So what ends up happening is, because they're desperate to start their business and get started, they jump right into a website. And they either do it themselves or they hire someone off the cuff, and they start the design. They get partway through, they start adding content in their offerings. We start asking them questions like, who is your target market? Who is this supposed to be geared toward? What are you offering? What are your programs? What is your opt-in offer? We start asking these questions as a designer, and you freeze because you don't know the answers to those questions. You're still in that decision-making phase of understanding what your brand is. And so that's one of the biggest mistakes I see online entrepreneurs doing, is allowing the desperation of feeling like they're in business to make them create a website that is not going to serve them and that they're kind of embarrassed about. So your website is your virtual storefront, and it requires big decisions about your business. So it's what is interacting with your prospects, the people that may or may not hire you. It's interacting with them when you can't. Because obviously you can't talk to everyone one-on-one. If you're going to have a massive business, you need to be working on a global scale. You need to be working passively with people, and that's what your website does. So it is your voice, it is the face of your business, and it requires you to be very clear about what you do, very clear about what your message is, and very clear about who you are and why people should be hiring you. In order to get very clear on all those things, you have to make some decisions. You have to laser focus your business, and that gets really uncomfortable, especially when you're starting out, because you don't know the right or wrong answers to things. You don't know if you're headed in the right direction, and you don't want to be spinning your wheels. So again, that makes it very easy for you to jump into, just creating a website that is very unclear and isn't going to serve you. We have found at the Land of Brand that adding time on the front end for planning actually shortens our project timeline. So when we first started doing websites, this was actually prior to the Land of Brand. It was I had a website, just hollychantal.com, and we just did website design for people. And what we found was we would start working with a client, and everything would be going hunky-dory. Then we'd start asking those questions. We'd start trying to put content together to put on the site, or maybe we got halfway through the design process, and they would disappear. So disappear as in no longer answering my emails, no longer showing up to meetings, and 6 months later they would come back and say, hey, I finally figured out all the answers to those questions you had. Can we start over? Or can we go ahead and get started? Or can we finish up what we were working on? At that point, it's been 6 months. I am now on a whole new set of projects, and it made it very stressful for us to serve the clients that we had already committed to, and then also serving the clients that we had new commitments to that were staying on track. So our website timeline could be a year based on how long it took someone to make those decisions. Because, starting a business is often a soul-searching journey. You need to find yourself and who you want to work with, and make mistakes along the way. And I totally hear that. It took me 18 months to get my first client, 18 months to actually get into business. I did my coach training in 2009, and actually I did my coach training in 2009, had my first client in 2010, so that was about a year, but didn't actually get into business where I was successful for about 18 months. And it was because of all these decisions. They're very difficult to make. So what we found was if we helped our clients make these decisions about their target market, about their positioning, about their messaging, about their offerings and how they were laid out, and also helping them with the strategy pieces of writing the copy and creating their follow-up series, like all those things you hear about from marketing coaches, if we actually walked our clients through those things and held their hands, it would shorten the project timeline from 6 to 12 months down to 3. So our program is actually 3 months long. And some people take a little longer depending on, if you're taking vacations, especially during the summer, those kinds of things. But the program can be done in 3 months. Can you imagine how much more you're going to be making if you have a website in 3 months instead of a year? You're shortening that learning curve of trying to figure out all those things on your own, and you're getting started right off the bat. So it's this planning phase is so important. You want to have all of your ducks in a row before you start your website design, before you even start searching for a website designer. So during this planning phase, you need to make some decisions. You need to make there's 4 decisions that you're going to need to make before you hire a website designer. So you can go ahead and start writing these down if you're taking notes. So how do you want to be perceived within your business is the first decision. Decision number 1 is your personality, which is how you want to be perceived within your business. So most of you are online solopreneurs, coaches, consultants. You are the face of your brand. You are the brand. People are hiring you. They want to work with you personally. The expertise you're sharing is your own. You are the face of your business. So you need to decide how you want to be perceived, because branding is all about perception. When you are looking at services or you're looking at websites, you're forming opinions and you're judging what it is you're looking at. So a brand is really nothing but a series of decisions that someone has made to influence your perception or your opinion of that person or business. As a consumer, I am creating opinions about if I think you are credible. I want to know who you are Do I like you? Do I resonate with you as a person? Do our values align? Do you seem like you're know what you're talking about, or are you blowing smoke? Do your services seem valuable? Do they seem valuable in relation to the cost? So all of these things are opinions. It's all completely subjective because it's based on that particular person's set of values, that particular person's judgments and opinions, and how they personally feel about you, which is really threatening as someone that's trying to build a brand because you're putting yourself out there to be judged, which can really help make you tone down your personality. So what you need to do is make these decisions about how you want to be perceived. You need to look at your personality and everything that makes you you, how you talk to your friends, how you talk to your clients, how you talk to your family, how you behave is your personality, what you value is your personality, how you treat people is your personality, your quirks, your humanness, your uniqueness, everything that makes you you needs to be in your brand. And the thing is that this is not typical. So being fully self-expressed like that is not typical because, like I said, it's really threatening putting yourself out there. You have to be really vulnerable. And you're basically opening the doors to be judged and for people to form opinions, and not all of them are going to be nice. But here's the thing. Most people are going to tone themselves down. They're going to play it safe. They're going to edit everything they write. They're going to make sure that they're using correct grammar and not having any typos and using jargon or things that they think make them sound smart, words that they think are going to make them sound smart. And what they're doing is actually coming across as robotic or academic or just dry, not themselves. So who they're attracting are people that are attracted to that, people that are attracted to that person. When, if they were to be themselves, they were to be quirky, be kind of weird, fun, different, depending on what kind of personality you have. Some of us are quiet. Some of us are really outspoken. Some of us are kind of quirky. Some of us are not. All of those different pieces of what make you you are unique, and they're going to resonate with particular people that you're probably going to enjoy working with most. So if you're not acting like yourself, you're attracting people that are not going to be your best clients personality-wise. But if you are being yourself, then you're going to attract people that resonate with you personally, and you're going to enjoy working with them that much more. So your brand is a big expression of your personality, and you need to decide how that's going to come across on your website and how you're going to utilize that in your brand. Decision number 2 is your position. And you may have heard of this before. Let me just take a quick sip of water. So your position is who you serve and what you do for them, and why I should hire you over everyone else. So it's your position in the marketplace, kind of the stake you're putting in the ground that is claiming that this is who I am, what I do, and this is why you should hire me. In order to understand your position, you need to have a defined target market. And I know if you've taken any marketing courses, you know you need to have a target market. You need to have a group of people that you are actively marketing to. And this can, again, be very challenging, especially when you're starting out, or even if you've been in business for a while. Defining your target market can be difficult because you don't want to turn people away. You don't want to limit yourself. You might not be sure how to describe them. There's all of these little limiting thoughts that come into play when you're thinking about defining and refining your target audience. But the thing is that your target market is even more important on your website, because on your website you have about a half a second to get someone's attention. If I am searching for a solution, I search in Google, I click on the first site that comes up, I look at it for a second. If that headline doesn't say what I need, I'm moving on to the next page. So you need to get your visitors' attention fast. They need to know that you serve them and you solve the problem that they have. So in order to understand your position and how to get that to come across really quickly, you need to know your target market profile and you need to know your niche. So I'm going to talk about these two things, your target market profile and your niche. Your target market profile is that ideal client that you're trying to attract. So you're going to look at the clients you've worked with or the clients that you want to work with, and you are going to profile them. You're going to write down everything you know about that person. So you're going to pick one that would be your ideal person, that if you could work with 100 of them and work with them every single day, you would be thrilled. This would be the cat's meow of a business. Or if you haven't worked with people yet that kind of, turn you on like that, then you need to think about who would. So who do you know, maybe from a past job or a friend or, just this kind of fantasy that you have in the head of this ideal client that has the problem that you solve, the attitude that it's going to take to work with you and to be successful, and that are going to get or have gotten the best results possible. And you're going to write down everything you know about that person. Write down to if they have a dog, if they have kids, do they have a job, do they like their job, what do they do on the weekends for fun, everything about that person on a very personal level, not just the attitude of, they're ready to make a change, they've recognized that there's a problem. These are the things that I commonly see on those profiles. You actually want to get right down into personally what their life is like. Who is this person? And then you want to look at how is the problem that you solve that they're having affecting that life. So you start writing down the actual problems that they're having in their life and examples of how they're influencing their well-being. When you have that language, you can use that on your website to get their attention so they know that you're speaking to them, because they want to know that you understand them and that you relate. The second piece is your niche. So you need to know what it is you do for them and how to describe that. So when you're starting out, you need to specialize what you're doing. You should not be offering, 10 different services. You should have one when you're starting out and then expand from there. Not only is that going to allow you to really focus your efforts, it's also going to make what you do very, very clear so that you can become known for it. So the decision you need to make is who you're going to serve, what it is you're going to do for them, and that needs to come across on your website. So we're basically gathering these little pieces that are going to go onto your website. Decision number 3 is your uniqueness. So why should I hire you over everyone else? And your uniqueness is made up of a few different things, because I'm sure if I asked you what makes you different, you could come up with, 20 different things right off the bat. I'm sure there's a lot more than 20. So all of those things are reason to hire you, even if that has nothing to do with the value that you provide, even if it's just that you're going to make me feel comfortable. Your personality makes you different, makes you easy to work with, or makes you someone that's really going to push me and give me drive to do what I need to do. So all of these different things are going to make you unique. And we look at 4 different areas. We call them found stones. So in the branding game, we go through, this is called the brand promise, and it's what makes you unique. It's your message. And it's distilled from 4 found stones. And you can write these down. The first one is your personality. So how does your personality make you different? The second one is your approach. So what problem are you solving that no one else in your market is addressing? The third one is what makes you uniquely equipped. So what experiences do you have that allows you to relate to the audience and or able to solve the problem that they have. And then the last one is the message that you want to share. So the thing that if you could shout it from the rooftops, it would solve everyone's problem, or that's how you feel. Thing that you're so passionate about doing. All 4 of those areas are going to turn up a lot of different things that make you different, a lot of reasons for people to hire you. But you need to identify the one that you're going to hang your hat on, the one that you're going to become known for in your brand. So in the branding game, we take these 4 found stones and we help you find the common threads between them and distill them down into one promise. And sometimes this promise is one word. But at the very least, it's a sentence. And then this sentence becomes the backbone of your offerings. Because if you look at other people in your market, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people that do the exact same thing you do. But the difference is they don't do it in your way. They don't use the exact same approach along with your personality, along with your message. They don't have all of those pieces the same way you do. That's what makes you different. So you're putting your own unique spin on this offering that you have. So this promise becomes that unique spin, that twist that you're going to put in all of your marketing. You're going to put in all of your offerings. You're going to put as the backbone of your brand. And ultimately, it's going to be what you become known for. So it will be what you become known for is going to come from this promise. And that's kind of cool. So as a brand, if you're building a brand that you want to be profitable and that you want to be this dream business, you want to become known for something. You want to make an impact. You want to make a difference. And in order to do that, you need to get that visibility. So you need to know what makes you unique, and you need to be able to hang your hat on that. Then, like I said, it becomes the backbone of your offerings. So that's the decision number 4, your offerings. What is it that you're going to sell? So in the branding game, we talk about the sales highway. So the sales highway, you've probably heard the term sales cycle or sales funnel. They all have different principles. So a sales funnel kind of starts with a low-end offering, and then it's the big part of the funnel, and then the funnel gets smaller and smaller and smaller as your prices go up and up and up because you're needing less and less people in those programs. That's one way of looking at all of your offerings. A sales cycle moves people from offering to offering to offering. That's a little bit closer to the sales highway. So a sales highway is basically how your offerings are laid out. So there are multiple entry points and exits, so people can come in at different levels. They can exit at different levels. And they're always pointed in the same direction of your brand promise. So they're all in alignment. They're all in alignment as far as the message and the promise, even if the results you're providing in each program are different. So the sales highway is a strategic plan. It's a map of all of your offerings. So in the branding game, we help you map out what it is you're going to offer on your website, what it is you're going to offer 5 years from now, and then how do you strategically lead someone from becoming aware of you to hiring you to working with you over and over and over. And each of those offerings must measure against the brand promise. So each of those offerings has to have your unique twist. Otherwise, you're going to create brand confusion. This is what happens when you have all of these different offerings that are doing all these different things. People begin to be confused about what it is you even do. But if you can tie them all to this brand promise and solidify this brand, then each offering reinforces that brand, and it's no longer confusing. You're just offering more ways to help your clients. So you want to create a suite that's going to be easy to understand. It's going to serve your audience, spread your message, and ultimately honor your brand promise. The other reason why you want to make this decision before you start your website is because you need to know what offerings are going to go on your website. You need to know which offerings you need to create now, which ones you already have, which ones can wait till maybe phase 2 or phase 3 of your website, so that you can prioritize what needs to be created. You also know what pages you need to create, and you can start laying out the strategy and planning how you want someone to use your site. So those 4 decisions are things that you want to have made before you start your website design. Otherwise, you're going to get halfway through your design and you're going to be going in so many different directions with so many different ideas, and you're not sure which one to go with, and you haven't made these decisions yet, that you're going to disappear from your website designer, and they're going to be very, very sad. So the way we solved this was to create this program, the branding game, that allows you to do that. So that is our picture of our map. So we actually take you through, in the branding game, we take you through the peaks of personality, so defining your personality, how you want to be perceived. We take you through the forest of opportunity, where you choose your target, where you choose your niche and what you want to specialize in and become known for. We take you through the tower of target market, where you choose your target market that you want to focus on and attract to you. We focus on your brand promise and your sales highway. And we lay all of these plans out before we start your website design. Phase 2 is the design. So now that you have your brand planned, now it's time to create a beautiful and functional design that is going to implement that plan and allow people to start experiencing your brand. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to stop the poll. All right. So so I just ended the poll, and I see in the chat some of you guys had some trouble. Some of you were messaging me you had some trouble with the poll. Let me just look at these questions real quick and make sure that nothing's going on. Someone said that there's an echo. I'm not sure. Let me know if that's still happening. This was kind of towards the beginning, but I don't see anyone else saying there's an echo. So let me know if you're still experiencing that. You might want to log out and come back in. Okay, so none of these are really critical. Just a couple people had trouble with the poll. I've never done a poll before, so I'm hoping that it worked all right. All right, so we have about 80 people on the call live right now, and just so you know, this will be as a replay. There will be a replay until Sunday, so if you're not taking notes fast enough or you want to re-listen to it or you have to leave before it's over, no worries. It will be posted and we'll send you the link. So out of the 80 people, 4% of you said you are proud of your website. About 20% of you said it's embarrassing, which is sad, I'm sorry. And 77% said I'm somewhere in between. And I know a couple of you didn't have a website. I forgot to put that in as an option. So that's good. I'm good for you, to the 4% that you are proud of your website. Fantastic. Then if you don't need to redo your website, then you'll still be able to take away some pieces from this webinar about your copy and the strategy and that kind of thing. For those of you that you're embarrassed by your site, I hope that you can take away some ways to improve and redesign. And if you want help with that, let us know. And then for those of you that are somewhere in between, which is the majority, you're not alone. I feel like there's a lot of ambiguity when it comes to, is this website representing me? Am I proud of it? Am I embarrassed of it? So I can definitely see where you would be in between there. All right. So that is good information. So I kind of know who this is geared toward. We're going to gear it toward we're going to talk different points to those different groups, if that makes sense. All right, so phase 2 is design. You want beautiful and functional design. Just trying to get my slide to change. So when someone visits your website, they're going to ask themselves 3 questions. And they answer these 3 questions in about 0.5 seconds, which really isn't fair. So like I said before, if you have, you're searching for a service or you're searching for a solution to a problem or an answer to a question that you have, you're putting it into Google, you're clicking on this first link, and you are going to make a decision, like a snap decision on whether or not that site has what you need. So the question you're asking yourself are, do you serve me? Do you solve the problem that I have? And do you seem like you're any good at it? So this is why the first phase is so important, because you need to be able to convey in a split second who your target market is, what it is you do for them, and your brand and website need to convey your credibility and the value that you provide. So you need to look like you know what you're doing. Your website is a huge part of that. So the design is going to help you with that third question. The design is going to determine whether you appear credible and whether I perceive you as being the person to help me. So that's why your design is so important, because it may seem superficial, but your credibility, whether you like it or not, is going to be judged by your visual brand, because it's not just because, you know, the superficial aspect of how we judge things, but because that's what people are experiencing. They're not seeing you and talking to you in person most of the time. Instead, they're experiencing your website, a business card, Facebook, those kinds of things. So your headshot, your website, your welcome video, all these things where people are seeing you but not actually talking to you are your visual brand. And they are what is conveying your message and who you are, conveying your message and who you are and who you serve needs to come across in that visual brand, because that's what people are interacting with. That is what is doing all the work for you when you're not actually talking to them. So how your website looks matters. So the style of the site, the quality of the site, and these are the kinds of things you want to start looking for when you're looking at a designer. So there are thousands of different designers out there. There's probably a few for each niche. So if you're a coach or you're an author, there's specific website designers that work with those specific people. We're one of them. We work with a lot of coaches, we work with a lot of solopreneurs, energy healers, those types of service providers. And you need to find a designer that suits your style. So if you look at different designers, you'll find that some work with very minimal design. No graphics, no stock photos, no images, but just colors and lines. Others are going to be really graphic heavy. Some of them will have, like the Landed brand, very cartoony, very fun, very bright colored kind of style. Others will have a lot of stock photos, so a lot of pictures of people, pictures of things, pictures that are conveying feelings. And what you'll do is you'll look at these different designers and you'll start to see which ones appeal to you. So whenever we're working with someone on a design, we ask them to send us, 3 or 4 websites that they love, not from a strategy standpoint or the content that's on it, but what looks good to them. So we can get an idea of what their personal style is. What colors do they like? What kind of treatment do they like? So if you're looking at style, do you like pastel? Do you like texture? Do you like solids? Do you like something that's really bright? Do you want something that looks kind of shiny, glossy? Something that has depth? And we look at those different aspects of your style and your personality, and we incorporate that into the design. And then the quality matters. So you can pay someone, on Odesk to create a website for you for a couple $100. But it's not going to be the same quality as if you're to hire someone, for a couple thousand. And sometimes, even the ones you're paying a couple thousand for are still not going to be the good quality. They're just, just how they're priced. So that's why you need to look at the designers, look at their portfolio, see the style, see what they've already created, and make sure that it fits your personality and that the quality is at the level that your brand is at or above. Because you want to live up to your brand. You want to live up to your website. You don't want to be embarrassed by it. You want it to push you to the next level because you need to deliver on this brand that you're putting out there. So when you're looking for designers, look at their style, look at their portfolio, look at the products that they're putting out there, and then also take a look at the quality. Do you see a lot of, things in the wrong place, or things that aren't lining up on a page, things that are overlapping each other, those kinds of things? And sometimes, to be completely honest, that's not the designer's fault. I know that we've gone to websites that we designed and we go to them a year later and someone hired a designer or a developer to make some updates or do certain things to them, and they ended up getting screwed up. We actually just fixed a site yesterday. Someone had written a custom code that made the blog show on top of other pages. So sometimes it's not the designer's fault. It could just be a glitch that just hasn't gotten worked out yet because a third party worked on the site. So I don't, you want to look at a broad range of sites to make sure that if you see any problems, that it is the designer and not just an outdated website. So those are the things you want to look for in a designer. Strategy also matters. So beauty matters and how the website looks. People are going to judge you on that. But really, you can have an ugly website, but if you don't have the strategy right, you're definitely not going to make it. The strategy is the most important thing, which is why when someone's starting out, if you don't have $5,000 to invest in a website, you start with a template. You start with a WordPress template and that you can fill in yourself so that you can start your business. Because done is better than perfect. As long as your strategy is sound and you can actually start marketing and start selling, you can invest in a beautiful design later. So the number one goal of your website, this is a big myth. People think that their website is for selling. Your website is not for selling. You should not have a buy now button on your homepage. Unless it's like you're using a sales page that everything on that page is geared toward selling a smaller product or that kind of thing, like a landing page. That's different. When I'm talking about a website, I'm talking about like your personal brand website. So thelandedbrand.com or hollychantal.com. That would be my website. It's not a landing page selling a program. The goal of that website is not to sell my programs. That's why there's no buy now buttons on the homepage. The goal of the website is to start a conversation. It's to engage your prospects and to get them to engage with you back. So your number one goal is actually to get them to start the conversation by usually entering their email address and their name to receive something from you. So you offer them something for free that's kind of a sample of what you do, and it's going to solve a problem that they have, which pre-qualifies them because they have the problem you solve. And you're going to show them how you do that. You're going to demonstrate your credibility. You're also going to be demonstrating your approach and why you do things the way you do. And if it makes sense to them, they're going to be more likely to hire you. But what you're doing is you're starting the conversation. You're giving them a sample of what you do and what it is like to work with you so that they can start to develop a relationship and start to develop trust in your brand. So the number one goal of your website is to start that conversation, to get someone to opt in, usually is how you do that. And it's also, the second goal is to create awareness for your programs. So when I say your website's not for selling, it does not mean you're not going to sell things on your website. You do need to have your offerings. You do need to have buy now buttons. But it's more of you're creating awareness of your programs. The selling part comes later. So you've started the conversation and now you're going to follow up with those people, provide really great strategies for them, provide really great content, and allow them to get to know you, and then you make an offer. And the ironic thing is that when you make the offer, you're going to send them back to your website to purchase. And when you're doing that, that page does need to have the intent of selling the program that you're directing them to. But then you're being very intentional. They're already aware of you. They like your stuff, otherwise they wouldn't have clicked on the link. And now they're going to that page to make a decision if they want to buy or not. So you have to kind of plan each of your pages with a particular strategy, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we'll talk about how to plan each of those pages to make sure that the goal you're going for with each page is being accomplished. Actually, no, we're going to talk about that right now. Sorry, I thought that was on the next slide. That's what happens when you don't actually read your slides as you're talking. So when someone lands on a page, they're asking themselves 3 questions. Who is coming? Oh, I'm sorry. Rewind a little bit. This is what happens when you do 2 webinars in one day. You start losing track of which one was which. So when you're planning in your content, you're planning each of those pages, you need to ask yourself 3 questions. Who is coming to this page? And that question is twofold, as in who is the target market and where are they in your sales cycle? So is this someone that has not become aware of you before? Is it someone that's landing on your site from Google? Is it someone that was referred to you by someone? Is it a current client? All those questions you want to be asking yourself. Who do you want this page to be geared toward? Because the language you're going to use is going to be different. If I am trying to sell a program that's a second step to a program that I had before, I'm going to gear the language on that page to someone that's already done that program, done the first program, versus someone that has no idea what I'm talking about. So you need to ask yourself, who is this page for? What do I want them to do? So what action do I want them to take? Is it that I want them to opt in? Do I want them to fill out this form? Do I want them to sign up for this program? Do I want them to contact me? What do I want them to do on this page? And then how am I going to get them to do it? So how can I get them to take that action? And there's a few different ways to do that. Like I said, for the opt-in offer, you might offer something for free in exchange for their email address if you want them to give you their email address. You may offer testimonials that support why they should purchase a program. You may offer a story. Tell a personal story that's going to touch them emotionally and help them connect with you as a person to take that action. Or you might tell a story of a client and help allay their fears and help them understand how they could have the same result. And all of these things are going to make them feel compelled or influence them to take the action you want them to take. So everything on that page needs to be geared toward that call to action. So that's why homepages, the number 1 goal of a homepage is to start a conversation and build awareness for what you do. So your homepage needs to be geared toward having them take that action, having them opt in. So I'm going to show you a couple of layouts that we use in the Land of Brand that helps with this. So if you looked at our portfolio, you're going to see websites that have similar layouts because this is what we've seen to work. And I will even share a little story, about how we tried to change our layout and how it really did not work. So let's go ahead, and this is a website that we did for Cheryl Simpson, obviously, and this is a common layout that you'll see in the coaching world, and it's also something that we use, and there's very specific reasons for this. So when you look at this website, I think you guys can actually see my mouse. So when you look at this website, from here, so the bottom of this billboard, up is above the fold. So when you land on this site, what you're mostly seeing, this video and this opt-in offer is going to be eye level. And it's going to take up most of the page because this is the action we want people to take. But you also want people to see what who you offer and what you do for them. So we have a tagline here, helping you land your next job 3 to 10 months faster. That's a pretty strong promise. If I'm unemployed and I'm looking for a job, I know that this person is going to be able to help me. And then your opt-in offer needs to help them solve their problem. So this one is attract more recruiters with LinkedIn and land the job you love. So it's about using LinkedIn to get more leads for jobs. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's front and center. I know what this person does. I know who they serve. And if I want to, start getting more leads, if I'm having this problem and it's painful enough, I'm going to put in my name and email address so that I can get this special audio training. The video also speaks to this opt-in offer. It's trying to get them to opt in for this program. So most everything on this page is going to be geared toward that opt-in offer. Now, because this is a home page and not a squeeze page, because there's a difference. A squeeze page is a page that only has an opt-in offer, and you can't get to the next page unless you have entered a name and email address. That's the definition of a squeeze page. Because this is a home page, we are going to have other elements because we want someone to know when you land on the page, when they land on the page, that you serve them, what you do, and that you look credible. So the branding makes her look credible. The tagline says what she does, and then down here you'll also see what offerings she has. Executive job search coaching, executive resume writing. Again, now we're seeing that her target market is executives. So she's helping high-level people get high-level jobs. And the brand you blog. So actually, if I were to go to this page, I believe what we usually try to do is have the tops of these boxes also show above the fold. At the very minimum, we want the billboard to show because that's the primary call to action. But usually we also try to have the tops of these boxes show so that you can see at a glance the offerings that someone has. And if you look at the land of brand, our site is laid out like this as well. Story, so here's the story part. So the land of brand is 2 years old. The actual website of the land of brand is 2 years old last March, so about 2 years and 3 months. So to celebrate that, we decided that we were going to redo our website because our website was 2 years old. We didn't want to be out of date. We wanted to stay up with the trends that were happening in website design. So we created a totally new website. And our website used to be laid out like this. So billboard, header, navigation, billboard area with opt-in offer, video, and then 3 boxes. Our conversion went from 13% down to 0.7. Because what we did was we had just a billboard area. It did not have the opt-in box. It just had a button to click because we thought maybe that would be easier. People didn't have to enter their name and email address right away. So we had a button to click and then the name and email address thing popped up. We changed the whole layout. Thought we were being really slick. And we had like 10 opt-ins for the whole month. And I almost cried. So then what we did was we took our old homepage and we put it on top of some of the elements on the new homepage. So if you go to our website right now, thelandofbrand.com, you'll see that we have this kind of layout on top, and then as you scroll down, there's more information about about our programs and what it is we have to offer, our philosophy, those kinds of things. And we're still actually testing this, so this does not mean go copy that because we don't know if it's working yet. We test everything. Our conversions went back up. It's not quite where it was at 13%, but it had an immediate effect. Like as in the day we changed it, we had like 20 opt-ins, and that was twice as much as we had the whole month before. So this layout works really well. This is another site that we've done recently. This is Gina Bardo. And this one's for all you energy healers, hypnotherapists, those kind of like woo-woo fields. Then people are so afraid of their woo-woo. You can be woo-woo and you can be very successful. There's no reason to hide it. So Gina is a hypnotherapist. She was brand new on the scene. This is her brand new website. I don't think she had a website before this. Within a week of launching this site, she said people were contacting her, not asking her prices. They just hired her on the spot because she looked so credible. And part of that was because we were able to really capture what she did and make it tangible. So taking that woo-woo, hard to explain stuff and making it tangible for someone to understand what it is you're going to help with them with, and that it makes sense to do it that way. So her copy, we worked quite a bit on it to make sure that it was really clear the approach, why it works, and how it was going to solve their problems. And she emailed me and she said that she had someone coming on site. Someone was actually traveling all the way to California, I don't remember where they were from, to work with her in person for a couple days because how things were explained on her website. And again, you'll see we have the opt-in offer is eye level. Most of her whole site is actually above the fold. Above the fold means you don't have to scroll down to see everything. So right here, it describes the problems that they're having and the results that they want. I don't know if this was the actual copy we ended up using. I believe this is a screenshot of her mock-up. But again, hypnotherapy for chronic pain and illness. It says it right up front. We have a beautiful headshot. She looks credible. She has a very defined brand. This is totally her personality. And it gets results. So these are the kinds of things you want to be looking at. Is what is the #1 goal that you want people to be taking action on? How are you going to get them to do that? On this site, it's all about just making it really the main thing on the page. So if any of this is striking you, and I don't mean like physical harm striking you, but if you're thinking to yourself, this makes sense, I get this, then our brand treatment program actually takes you through all 3 phases. We haven't talked about the 3rd phase yet. We're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes. But it takes you through all 3 phases of creating your online brand. It takes you through the branding game, which, like I said, can be done on its own, especially if you already have a designer that you want to work with. You can just work on the branding game pieces. It includes a gorgeous custom website design. So these websites that I'm showing you, these are sites that are from people that were in our brand treatment program. And then 8 weeks of web copy workshops. So not only do we help you plan your brand, plan your offerings, create your opt-in offer, like actually get your business plan in place, plus we design the website for you, build it, and it makes, we do it in WordPress so that you can update it and we give you all the information to do it yourself. We also help you write the copy. So we take that plan that we created, we break down what pages need to be written to make the website live, and we give you templates and guidance to write each individual page. And then you write the page and we give you live feedback on how to, tweaks that you should make. Sometimes I help you rewrite pieces, and you get real feedback on what's working, what's not working with that page, so that each page is perfect. And those are done as workshops, so you're hearing other people going through the same process you are. You're hearing the questions they're asking, so you're actually learning how to write copy. Writing copy is the most valuable skill that you will ever learn as a business owner, because copy is what gets people to take action. So copy is just another word for content that persuades people. So you are going to learn how to write persuasive copy to get people to take action that you can use on emails, you can use on your website, you can use it in myriad ways. And the packages start at $5,500. Most people, and when I say they start at, people get all worried because it starts at that, how much is mine going to cost? It's probably going to be like $10,000, $15,000. $5,500 is usually what people have. There's a couple add-ons you can get if you have like a really big membership site, or you need to do create a big product platform, that kind of thing. But for most people, the $5,500 is exactly what you need. And I have 2 bonuses for you. The first bonus is that if you apply before we're done with the webinar, and we have about 30 minutes left, and it may be longer than that depending on how many questions we have. If you apply on the website before we're done, then we'll spread out the payments for over 5 months at no additional cost. So normally when you have a payment plan, you pay a little bit additional, like the $5,500 is I pay in full price. We'll give you the pay in full price, but you can pay it $1,100 a month for 5 months. And the best thing is that if you apply now and you decide that it's not for you, that's okay. You can apply now, and if you decide to sign up, then you can get the financing. You don't have to apply and like it's a commitment to buy. That's not what we're here for. So how you would do that is go to thebrandtreatment.com. I'm going to write it in the chat. So thebrandtreatment.com will take you to the page where you can sign up for that. It also gives you the description of the whole program. And oh, thank you, Jason. I see I'm looking at the chat. And Jason, who is a client of ours, and we're actually just about to launch his site. Jason says, I've been working with Holly for my business, and I must say Holly and her team is really and truly do an awesome job, and she's been super, super helpful. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate that. And if you guys have questions for Jason about how the process has been, I know Jason would be happy to answer those if you want to type them into the chat. He's always been a really fun person in our community. He loves to answer questions and can contribute, which I appreciate. So while you guys are thinking about that, you have the link if you want to go read about it more. Let's go ahead and talk about the third phase. Oh, hold on. Okay. So phase number 3 of your website project. So far we have talked about the planning phase, which is phase 1, the design phase where you're actually starting to design your website, and then the third phase is the content. So this is actually filling in the website. So you've built the house and now you need to furnish it. And this is encompassed in our web copy workshop program. So you'll notice that there's 3 phases here, and they all have kind of different names of programs. All of these can be done separately, except for the website design. The website design, we only do the website design with clients that are doing the whole package. But the branding game can be done separately, and the web copy workshops can be done separately. So if you already have a website, or you already have a designer you want to work with, we can work with you just on the copy, and we can work with you just on the planning. So I just want to clarify that. So let's move back into content. I don't want to, over-explain everything because it's all on the website. So planning your pages. So now you created the plan in the beginning. You know what your offerings are. You know what your message is. You know who your target market is. You're going to use that information now to write your pages. So you're going to go back to that plan of what you need, what pages you need in order to launch your site, and what can be added later. So what can be phase 2, or what can be down the line? Because the most important thing is that you finish your site. So the most important thing is that your site is out there marketing for you, and people are getting to know you. So what can wait and what has to be done now? Then you're going to map out where each page will reside on the site. So there's a lot. If you look at a website, there's probably, you're only seeing 20% of the pages that are on that site because they're all in different places. So you have your main navigation. So when you're looking at the home page and you see that navigation at the top where the different names of the pages are, is which pages are going to be on the main navigation, so top level, front and center, people can see them. Sub-menu items, which means I'm going to put my mouse over this item and then more are going to drop down. And then hidden pages. Hidden pages are thank you pages. They are product delivery pages. They're sales pages that you don't want to put front and center. These are the pages that people are sent to on the back end, either by sending them a link or a redirect, those kinds of things. You would be very surprised at how many pages are on a site until you start, that you don't even realize until you start planning. So if you're doing thank you pages, you have your opt-in offer, you have your signing up for a consultation, you have your signing up for a program. That's three pages that need to be written, plus 3 thank you pages. That's 6 pages. And you wouldn't even realize that until you actually start planning out what it is you need to write. So that's why it's really important that you prioritize what can be done now, or what needs to be done now, and what can be done later. So you plan out not only what pages you're going to have, you're going to plan out where they're going to go, and you're going to plan out what's going to be on them. So what we were talking about before, those 3 questions, who's coming to the page, what do I want them to do, and how am I going to get them to do that? You need to go through that for each of your pages. And that's actually a really great way to assess your current site. So if you have a website right now and you want to measure the effectiveness, go through each page right now and look at it and ask yourself, who's coming to this page? What do I want them to do? How am I going to get them to do it? And is everything on this page geared toward that goal? Or are there things that could cause distraction? So once you've planned your pages, now it's time to write your pages. And this is a beast. It's apparently a musical toothy beast. Even if you're a great writer, so you could, I've actually worked with people that are writers, they're authors. They are, writing is what they do. I'm actually working with a freelance writer right now. You could be a great writer, but writing sales copy is a whole other animal. Writing sales copy that's persuasive and gets people to take action is a skill in and of itself. And it's a skill, like I said, that as a business owner, you must have. So you're going to use your target market profile to help you, because that has the description of the person you're talking to so you can meet them on their level, has the examples from their life that they're experiencing, it has the results that they want in their language, it has everything you need to write a really good sales page. And in our website design program, in the web copy workshops, we provide you with the templates for each of these. So for your offerings page, for your about page, for your opt-in offer, for your homepage video script, we provide templates for how to write each of those and feedback as you write them, and we help you edit them to make sure they're perfect. And a lot of people ask us, can you just write our copy? And technically, yeah, I probably could, but to be honest, you know your target market better than I'm going to, because you are the expert, and you have your own unique voice and personality, which is going to be different than mine. And while I can try to mimic you, it's never going to be as good as the real thing. So by writing your own copy, you're going to learn a skill. You're also going to be infusing your personality into your brand. And you're going to be finding your voice, which is going to make you feel even more comfortable in your brand. So doing this for yourself is going to make a huge impact. Sorry, I just saw a note from Terry. Writing your own sales copy is the 7th level of hell. It doesn't have to be, though. Let's rephrase that, Terry. Writing sales copy on your own when you don't know how to can be the 7th level of hell. But writing your sales copy with a friendly guide holding your hand, telling you what to write, what examples to use, how to tweak things to make it even better, it's a lot more fun, believe me. We don't leave you high and dry just to write. Other considerations. So, some things that you want to think about. A website project is not a to-do. So I mentioned this at the very beginning, that your website is a project. It's not a to-do item. You're not going to, knock it out this week, I'm going to make my website. It can take about 3 months to do right, unless you are an expert in this. So if I'm doing a website for myself, like when we did that redesign, it took us about 4 weeks because I already knew what I needed to write. We already knew what we needed to design. It didn't take as long because we didn't have to learn these things. So give yourself time to learn, give yourself time to make decisions, and do it right. The other thing is that you have to think about when you're hiring someone to design for you, you have to leave time for back and forth. So a lot of people ask us, I need a website done by the end of the month. Is that possible? Well, technically, yeah. If you accepted the first design that we give you, and then we started building, it would take about a month. But the thing is that we need time to interpret what you want. We create the initial design, and then you have to have time to look at it, write down what you like, what you don't like, what you want changed, which can take a few days to a week. Then the designer needs more time to get those edits back to you. There's a lot of back and forth when you're doing a website, and it takes time. So plan for that. Plan to do it right. Be patient. And be aware of designers that have a quick turnaround time, because they might be over-promising. Not because they don't have the best of intentions. I don't want to knock website designers. It's because not everyone factors in that back and forth time. Or they might have the best of intentions that they want to get it done that quickly, and then they realize they've overcommitted themselves and that they don't have time. I have been guilty of it before, where I've taken on a project and I have to tell the person, I try to do it as soon as possible. I don't wait for the deadline, obviously, to say we're not going to meet it. But I tell them, within a week that, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work. You may need to find someone else, or, we'll have to extend it by this much. So what you want in a designer is someone that's going to be very honest with you and tell you, be upfront with what's going on. If they're not communicating with you, then, be aware. You always want to make sure you own everything when the site is finished. So sometimes, the designer owns the copyright on the graphics because they created them. Or they might own the logo, or they might register the domain for you. This kills me when I see this happen. They register the domain for you, and now they have total control of your website. They can take it down anytime they want. They go out of business, your website goes down. You should own your domain. You should own the hosting plan. You should own the design, the logo. You should own the source files. So the source files is the design, the image of the website where it's programmed from. So we provide you with all of those things. We provide you with, we help you set up your hosting. We help you register your domain, but you own it all. And then we give you the source files so that if you decide to use another designer, maybe because you have a friend that can work with a Photoshop file or for whatever reason, they can use the design in your branding to create other pieces of collateral. And a lot of times you can do those things on your own if you're familiar with Photoshop. Me personally, I am not a designer. On a previous webinar that I did, I showed some designs I did, and it was pretty laughable. But I know how to use Photoshop, so I do a lot of our own graphics using what our artists created. So I use the source file and I copy and paste and kind of move things around and that kind of thing. But no, I do not design them myself as far as drawing or, doing treatments on images and that kind of thing. That leave that to the professionals. Having a good designer is really important. Having someone that is talented and knows what they're doing. So why should you be working with us? Well, if you're ready for a website, you are one of the ones that was embarrassed or one of the ones that was in between, and you know that it's time to create a brand that is really going to stand out and allow you to work with the people you're meant to serve, then we are a good option to consider. We'd love to talk to you and see if we'd be a good fit. And one of the best things about the Land of Brand is that we manage the project for you. So a lot of times when you go to a website designer, you have to tell them what you want. You have to tell them what pages you want. You have to give them all the information. But with us, we actually manage the project. So we tell you what we need. So we tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. So we're driving the project. You're not having to, know what you don't know, which is all the things that have to do with a website. You're not expected to be an expert. We're the expert, and we guide you through it holding your hand. We also act as a sounding board to make sure that you have each piece right as you move through these stages. So making those decisions can make you freeze. They can hold you back. So what we do is we help you make those decisions and give you confidence as you move forward through each stage, so you know you're doing the right thing and you're not freezing or being stuck in one place because you are not sure which direction to head. We are also masters at capturing your uniqueness. So we love quirky people. We love capturing what makes you different. And we not only can capture that and draw that out of you, but we can also present that on the web page and incorporate it into your copy. And we create a whole brand around it, which is our favorite thing to do. And your website is going to be designed to grow with your business. So if you decide a year from now that you're going to expand into a different market, or maybe you aren't really enjoying what you're doing, you're going to do something else, because your website's built around your personality and who you are, it's easy to change. So you don't have to change the graphics. You can change the content, change the words. You can add a page, add this or add that. Your website will be designed to grow with you, so you're not having to have it redone every year, every time your business changes. And then we give you the tools to manage the site yourself. I said you should own everything. I also feel like you should be in control of everything. Things that you have to do, one of my friends, Anna Malikian, who's a fantastic coach and great at technology tools, she has a really good rule of thumb for people. If it's something that you have to do on a day-to-day basis, like sending your newsletter or writing a blog post or doing a website update, it's something you should be able to do yourself. If it's something that you're doing once in a while, then hire it out. So if it has to do with, loading a campaign in Infusionsoft or, video editing or things that you're not doing very frequently, hire someone to do those things. But you need to be able to manage your site yourself, because you don't want to be at someone else's mercy because you found a typo on your about page. So we give you all the tools you need to manage the site yourself, and you have total control of everything because you own it. All right, so the brand treatment program, I just talked about it a little bit ago. I'm just going to recap really quick, and then we're going to answer questions. So if you have questions, like I said, there's about a 30-second delay. So if you have questions, go ahead and start typing them into the chat now. And by the time I'm done giving my spiel, it'll be time. You'll have typed your questions in, and I can go ahead and start answering them. So the brand treatment program, which is our website design program, includes all 3 phases. The branding game, which is the planning. It plans your strategy, your business, your offerings. A beautiful website design that is custom to you and expresses your personality and has all those strategy pieces that we create in the planning stage. 8 weeks of web copy workshops. So 8 weeks to write your copy. So typically we're doing, 4 or 5 pieces of copy, and you have 2 weeks each. So if we, whatever you can get done in those 8 weeks, I tell people that we will accommodate. So if you're writing 2 pages a week, we will do 16 pages. It's not limited. It's only limited by time, at the time you have. And everything you need to position yourself at the top of your niche. So when we're finished, you have a website, you have your offerings, you have your sales pages, you have a opt-in offer in place, ready to go. You have all you need to just start marketing. And actually, we have a marketing program after that if you wanted to continue to work with us. So you have everything you need to really take your business to the next level. So what are your next steps? If this is something you're interested in, you can go to thebrandtreatment.com to apply. And if you apply before the end of the call, so I'm going to start answering questions. If you apply before the end of the call on that page, you can get 5 months of financing for no additional cost. So whatever package you decide on, we'll split it out over 5 months at the pay in full price. And if, as we're going through this, you're thinking, $5,500 isn't really in the ballpark right now. I know I need help with some things, but I might not need a website. So there might be various reasons why you're thinking, all this sounds really good, but it's not exactly what I need, but I kind of have questions about if you could help us anyway. You can email me directly at holly@thelandofbrand.com with your unique situation and what you're looking for, and we'll go from there on if we have something that we can help you with, or if we know someone that would be a good fit for you that we can refer you to, because we have a pretty good network of people that offer different services to you guys. Oh, and I forgot there was 2 bonuses. I only told you about one of them. So the first bonus is if you sign up before the end of the call, you will get the 5 months of financing. The second bonus, which I totally forgot to mention before, is that for the first 2 people that actually sign up, so give us a deposit and get started in June, we will upgrade you to the premium package, which includes an additional 6 one-on-one calls with me. So I actually take you through all of those branding pieces one-on-one, which is a $1,000 value. I will upgrade you to that at no additional cost. So the first 2 people that actually sign up for the program in June will get that. So what I've done is when you go to thebrandtreatment.com and you fill out the application, you're going to be automatically taken to my calendar to schedule a time to talk. And that's when we do our consultation and see, are we a good fit? If we're not, that's totally fine. There's no obligation. So I've added a lot of extra times. I think on Friday, I think I have like 8 appointments because they're all like 15 minutes each. So I've added a lot of extra time so that there's a lot of availability there for you to choose from. All right, so I hope that we'll be talking soon. I'm going to go ahead and start going through the questions that are in the chat. Some of you have private messaged me. All right. All right, so just give me just a moment. I'm going to start at the very beginning, so I need to see which ones are questions and which ones are comments from the beginning. Okay, Tony asks, have you ever done a website for a performer, actor, singer, voiceover artist? The answer to that is no, we have not, but could we? Absolutely. And you actually have a very unique way to look at branding, because as a performer, actor, singer, you literally are your brand. So if you look at actors, comedians, people that are in the performing industry, they have personal brands. They have, the roles that they're usually cast for based on their personality, their physique, their persona. So you actually need to make these same decisions about how you want to present yourself and who you are, and then how you're going to present that so that you're getting the right parts. So I think that would be a lot of fun. We've never done it before, but we definitely could, and we definitely could adapt the program that we have to those unique needs. And that would be, we love challenges. We love working with new kinds of businesses. So Tony, if you think that you'd like to talk about that, then fill out the application and we'll chat about it. And if you decide that you're not comfortable with it, that's totally fine. There's no obligation, like I said, but we'd love to talk to you. Jan asks, did you create the headers too? So I'm not sure if you're asking, do we create headers, or did I create headers for our website? So when you do the website design with us, we obviously do the header of the website. We offer PowerPoint templates like the one you're seeing. So this is our branded PowerPoint template, or email header templates. Like we can do all of the different peripheral pieces of your brand. There's certain things that are included in certain packages, so that would be a one-on-one conversation when we talk. But yes, we do headers, but we do not do headers outside of the website design package. So you cannot hire us just to do a header or just to do a logo. It's pretty much all or nothing when it comes to the website. And that's because we spend a tremendous amount of time with each of our clients, and we need to be able to focus on those. Sharon asks, is this applicable to personalized gift sites where sales are actually made online? Personalized gifts, yes. So branding a company is not that different from branding a person. It's still going to have a personality. It still needs to be relatable to the audience. It still needs a position. It still needs a message, and it still needs your offerings strategically lined out. So, so Sharon, we have not done, a gift product site, but the principles again are exactly the same. So yes, we could do something like that. Robin says her client loves what we're doing for her. We are working with Tina. Thank you, Robin, for that. We are having a lot of fun with Tina. Her site is awesome, and that's also going to be launching soon. Is there an option for just website design? So I think I already answered this, so you probably said this before that, but we do not do only standalone website design because, like I said, what we were finding is when we only offered website design, the projects were taking a lot longer because we didn't have all those planning pieces in place ahead of time. And the other half side of that is content takes a long time for people to write most of the time because they don't realize how many pages they need. So by offering the whole kit and caboodle, it actually shortens the time frame and makes it easier for us. So to be completely honest, the website itself is worth at least $5,000. The branding game and the web copy workshops are more bonuses. If you were to break those out separately, I think it comes out to like $8,000 total if you were to do them separately. So it really isn't cost effective to just do the website design when you can have the whole kit and caboodle for pretty much the same price. Oh, it looks like Jason responded to Terry. So Terry initially wrote, writing your own sales copy is the 7th level of hell. Jason says, haha, Terry, I couldn't agree more. Following up with what I said earlier, writing copy is where I felt Holly helped the most. The structure, the feedback, and the knowledge I learned from working with Holly on writing sales copy was so helpful. And I will say this, that Jason has become a fantastic copywriter through the program, and he can now, like, he wrote his own video script, and he wrote some calls to action for a template. Like he's using the skills that he learned beyond the program, and he's doing really well. So thank you, Jason, for chiming in there. Denise says, this is great content, Holly. I had to fight for my right to choose my own colors and styles. I have a designer that doesn't take it. Oh, so you're saying that when you had your designer, they wouldn't let you decide on your own style. That's no fun. Denise says, have a designer that doesn't take it personally when you have input for your own design. Absolutely. It's so funny when we go through the revision process with people. So we show how it works is we do the planning piece, then you have a brief, creative brief meeting with our artist, Matt Garapi, who's my business partner, and he's amazing. And he starts working on the design, and then we show you the first draft. And I'm always afraid when we show the first draft because it's either right on the money or off the mark. And when it's off the mark, usually people are really afraid to tell us because they don't want to hurt our feelings. But you're absolutely right. You need a designer that does not take it personally, and we absolutely do not. What we do is we have you write what you love about the site and what you would like changed about the site, and that kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. You don't have to say what you want to change it to quite yet, but just kind of having the conversation about exploring about what appeals to you, what did not appeal to you, what needs to change, and we talk about, the direction that we want to head in. So Denise, that's very good advice. Thank you for sharing that. Robin says, I have a client that site is owned by the designer, and we have been trying to add or edit content for the upcoming webinar and can't find it. It's all locked down. Ah, that's terrifying. I don't think I would be able to, I wouldn't be able to handle that. Yeah, you need to have control over your content. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear about that. Jody says, I wonder what the cost is for the standalone web copywriting portion. So Jody, how about you email me, holly@thelandofbrand.com, because it really depends on how much content you have to write. So the pricing will change depending on, if you have 2 pages or you need 10 pages, because it's really about how long you are going to be in the program. The 8 weeks is $19.97, so I can kind of give you that as a ballpark, and it would be add and remove from that depending on how much content you have written. Now that being said, if you're going to do the website design, the web copy part, I would suggest going through the branding game first, and we can negotiate the package there if you're interested in doing that. So again, shoot me an email, holly@thelandofbrand.com, if you want to talk about that, because the branding game is going to give you most of the information that you're going to be using in your copy. And it's also going to make it very clear what it is you're selling and your unique position. So usually if you're doing the web copy workshops and you're doing at least 8 weeks, we'll include the branding game for you because you need to have that information. So shoot me an email, Jody, if that's something that you'd like to talk about. Karen says, you did an excellent job explaining all that you have to offer. Thanks a whole bunch. Thank you, Karen. And I hope you guys found this helpful. I know that, there's a lot of sales webinars where it's all about selling, selling, selling. And I'm hoping you don't feel like that's what this webinar was about. I'm trying to really help you guys understand, what goes into a website project and all the kind of ins and outs that people don't consider. And it just happens to coincide with everything we provide because that's why we designed our programs this way. So I hope you guys are finding this helpful. Michelle says, I have 2 different ministries. One is sex and intimacy and the other is business related. Should I have 2 different sites? Whoa. I probably should have read that before I read it out loud. When you said ministries, I was thinking not sex and intimacy. The other one is business related. So the answer to this question is you need 2 different websites if the market is different and or the offering is different. So the target market is usually what drives the website, because that's the first question that people ask when they go to a website. Do you serve me? So it depends on who your 2 different offerings are geared towards. Is the sex and intimacy geared towards couples and the business is geared towards business owners? Or is it, the sex and intimacy is also geared towards business owners? That's going to determine the different sites you have. Otherwise, if it's the same target market, then you could just have 2 different pages on one website. But looking at this, I don't see how there would be the overlap. So I would recommend having 2 websites. Latricia says, this webinar has been extremely helpful for me. My current website is in no way a good reputation of the message and the vibe I want my potential clients to see. She also says, you have given me so much to build from, and I appreciate the generosity you've displayed by sharing this information. Thank you, Tricia, for saying that, Latricia, and I'm glad that you were able to make it. I really appreciate you all being here, and I hope that you found it very helpful. And it is time to announce the winner of the Done For You giveaway. I realized that I was supposed to do that before I answered questions, and I am so sorry for keeping you guys in the dark. So give me 1 second. All right, so the winner is, and yes, I am typing this because I realized I did not create a slide for it. Oh, this isn't going to work. Okay. So the winner is, I'm just going to say her name. So drum roll, please. Kim Wend. So Kim won the Done For You website. Kim, I'm so excited that you won. I hope you're on the call. I'm really excited that Kim won because she has been in the LOBoratory for, I think, 2 years now. And I know that she's really been wanting a website. So I'm very excited for her, and it doesn't look like she's on the call. Either that or she hasn't, the delay hasn't picked up yet. But yes, so it was really excited to have one of our own win the website. Deborah says we would listen to you no matter what. Thanks, Deborah. I know that you were waiting to hear who won. Kelly asks, will you have a replay available? Yes. So Kelly, you just joined us. That's fine. The replay, I believe once I sign off the webinar, if you click on the link and refresh, you will actually start the replay right then. But if not, then a link will go out later tonight that has the replay in it. So congratulations to Kim Wend. We are so excited for you. I'm going to shoot you an email right now to let you know. And I think that's it. I'm not seeing any other questions. All right, I don't see any other questions. Congratulations to Kim. Thank you all for coming. And I hope to be talking to some of you soon. And have a fantastic, fantastic day. Bye, everyone.